If you've ever done an oil change on your Triumph motorcycle, you'd realize that you need to reset the service icon. That's the little warning light that pops up to tell you that service is due. Typically, if you take that to the Triumph dealership, they would reset that light and give you another 6,000 miles before it comes on again. If you're going to change your oil yourself, you got to figure out a way how to reset that service icon yourself. And it usually involves connecting a computer or a phone or something like that to your bike's ECU through an OBD2 link or dongle. A popular option on the web, in the forums and such, is Tune ECU. And there's another option as well, I can't remember the name. But then there's a third option called DealerTool. And I opted to get the DealerTool accessory because it comes with the cable. It comes with the dongle that you attach to the ECU connector on the bike. And it works with Windows. This video here just walks through how I got it, how I set it up, and you know, its first use. So it's a small business based in the UK, and when you contact them, you're talking directly to the guy who's making these things. This is what it looks like. So this part, this box here, you connect to the OBD2 link on your bike, and this other one here, this other end of the cable, and it's a fairly long cable, this other end connects to a USB-A port on your computer. These instructions here cover, it says the DealerTool will install on Windows versions 7, 8, 8.1, 10. It doesn't say anything about 11. I use 11. So I can't speak to all of the steps in the instructions for those old Windows versions, okay? This little video here will just speak to the installation on Windows 11, which is not mentioned in this book. But it does mention Windows 10, and it should be very similar to that. Other than that, let's just jump right in and see the website and see how you go through the process of getting this. But it's very straightforward. Essentially what you do is once you get the tool, you install the software, you go to the bike, you read off your ECU number, and then you send it to them via email, and in less than 24 hours I got a registration code, and you put that in, you connect back up to the bike, of course, you put that in and you're good to go. From then on you can use this tool whenever you like for that one motorcycle. If you need additional motorcycle supports, then you have to buy a key for each one, but you keep the same dongle, but you register different bikes, paying for each key as you go. So if you were to do a search on Google for Tiger 900 Reset Service Light Tool, you'd come up with these hits. And a lot of these hits refer to Tune ECU as one of the options for this tool, or Tiger Tool is also mentioned. The other popular option is an Android-only solution called ECU, Tune ECU, and at least they have a website, tuneecu.net. And here it's got a lot of information, different languages, different bikes that are covered, and that kind of thing. But again, the website looked kind of like amateurish. It doesn't tell me what I need to know right up front. For my purposes, where I can download it, where I can buy it, where I can use it, how I can get the job done. So I kind of was turned off by that. This other option here caught my eye. And this one here, right away, as you can see the difference, it shows the dongle, it shows a little leaflet that you get when you buy it. You pay $60, and it has some basic information as to what it does. It works on Triumph bikes, that's it, simple, straightforward. Now the 2024 Triumph Tiger 900 is not yet supported via the software. The software apparently needs to be tweaked. From what I understand from the manufacturer, there's some additional security settings that he's got to figure out. But the 2020 to 2023 models are clearly covered. These are the things that you can do with it. get access to your ECU without complicated commands or confusing software. And this is Windows. This is Windows software, by the way. So right away, simple, straightforward, hooks up to your computer, and away you go. The buy link is pretty straightforward. Here you've got a couple of options. You can buy the whole kit, and the whole kit supports one ECU key registration, or you can buy additional keys for £25. And these are the links to buy it. When you buy it, he ships the dongle to you, and he ships the instructions for downloading the software. You go to the website, to the link that is provided, you download it, and then you install it on your computer. After you install it on the computer, you bring the computer to the bike, you hook the dongle up, and then you read your ECU. Then you email that ECU to DealerTool, and within 24 hours they'll return email to you with the registration code. You put that registration code back into the bike, and after that you're good to go. So as I mentioned, the dongle comes shipped with this little insert here that you see on the screen. It gives you a little bit more instructions. It says that the operating system requirements Windows 10 or 11. So here Windows 11 is mentioned, 64-bit. We cannot provide support for older Windows or Macs. And it gives you the link here to go to install, to download the software. Any problems, they're only an email away, and I can attest that they're pretty responsive to their emails. So when you go here, you go to the website, and let's see if I can get to the downloads. This is the link. This is where you go, and it says download files that are only for the latest version, and they give the various version interface cables. Your cable will come with a little label on it that says which version cable it is. In my case, it came with the 3.1 interface cable. So you want to download the instructions, you want to download the software, and the third thing to download is one of these two. For the cable that you have, driver files for version 3 cables only, well, it means 3 and 3.1. So this is the one that you want to download. So you get those three downloads, this, and this. And the instructions are, and you follow it, you open this up and you follow it. So when you download those three files, you put it into a folder, and this is what I've got it. I've downloaded them into this folder. You expand them all, and then you run the installation, right? You run the installation for the software. The software would be in this folder here, and setup. You run the setup application. And that runs the installer, and it installs very smoothly on a Windows 11 computer. It does mention that you have to select the right COM ports and all of that. You don't have to worry about that. In my experience, it installed real smoothly. If you have interface cable 3.0 or 3.1, then please skip to item 8. For the other versions, then you got to follow these steps. So basically what it's saying here, first you must be logged on with administrator rights to Windows will not allow you to install anything. So if you're using a computer that you don't have administrator rights, then yeah, you're going to not be able to install it. But assuming that this is your computer and you have administrator rights, you're logged on, you go to the web link, you download the stuff, you run the setup file to install the DealerTool software. Then after that, you've got to make sure that the drivers are installed properly. So at this point, you skip right ahead to step 8. So driver installs a version 3.0, 3.1 interface cables, auto install, which is what I did. Plug the interface into the PC. So you're not at the bike, you plug the interface into the PC, and Windows should self-install the drivers. So, I did that. I plugged the dongle cable into the USB-A port, and it installed the thing it actually installed it without telling me anything. So you can check this by going to Windows Device Manager. So after a couple of seconds, I went to Windows Device Manager and I expanded it like this. Hopefully I can make this a little bit bigger, and I could see that there was an addition here, CH340. and it so happened to be, it says if there's no warning icon next to the ports and you can see USB serial CH340 with the COM port that you have on your computer, in this case here is 123, but in my case it was COM3, then the drivers are installed. Note the port number and enter into DealerTool. So once you note the port number that you have, you go into the DealerTool software. So I'm going to skip over this because I didn't do this manual install. So you fire up the DealerTool software, and then you're greeted with this pop-up window here. You just accept it, okay. Using the DealerTool for the first time, you read the disclaimer, you say okay, blah blah blah. At the foot of the DealerTool main page, you should see the bottom page, several pieces of info right here. Okay. COM port should be shown. This may be needed to be changed in the options page, and the options page is right up here. So if it's not shown, you got to just go here and make sure that it's saying the right COM port. So you remember when you looked at Device Manager, you got the COM port remembered, and then you make sure that it's set correctly in the DealerTool software. It should either show up here automatically, or you go here and you put it into the options. And they talk through that. And then it talks about the ECU code. This is the next step, because you can't use this tool unless you get it registered. Once you get it registered, then it's ready to be used to reset your service light and all that stuff. So you will now need to register your bike's ECU with DealerTool to obtain an ECU code to allow full use of the program's features. So close the options page and select ECU data from the main page. So going back to the main page, you select this one here, ECU data, right up here. Right, you select that, and then click on Read ECU Data to check communication with your bike. So this will pop up when you click that button, and this then you click on Read ECU Data. It does this all seamlessly, and this will pop up, and it'll have your ECU number here. This big long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 6 numbers. You need to copy paste that into an email and email the code to this email address exactly as you see it, and then they will send back a registration code. Once you get that registration code, you go back to the bike, hook it up like this, just like how we did here now, and then usually within 24 hours, you receive your 30-digit registration code, which you can then enter into the Enter New ECU Registration Code page. So back to the options. Under options, I haven't done this yet because I've got my code on my computer, and I'm going to be doing that next. So I'll hopefully, the next segment of this video, I'll show you how that's done. Okay, you put that in, enter the 30-digit code correctly, and the code will be added to the list of registered keys. You can add as many keys as in here as you like, and DealerTool will remember them, so you not need to enter them again. But here's the important part here too. Once you do that, click on OK, and you return to the main DealerTool page. So you're ready to use it then. Each time you start DealerTool, you must go to the ECU data page before the other menus are enabled. So when you fire it up, you need to go to this page here before the other menu selections are enabled for you to use. So it's kind of clunky in the sense that as soon as you fire it up, it doesn't do a self-check. You have to manually go and click on that for it to, to trigger the checking with the bike, the ECU, to verify and to validate the registration key. And then the rest of this instructions leaflet talks about the different, the sensor values, throttle balance, check faults. This video is not really meant to be a tutorial on the use of this tool. You can contact the manufacturer for that. Test modes, all of that kind of stuff. Fuel pump, cooling fan, blah, 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 all of this stuff. DealerTool now supports the adjusting of the service distance function supported on 800 and street triple models from 2010 onwards. I guess that wasn't always there. So I guess this is the part that's interesting for next time you want to service your bike. If your bike also has a time to next service, then you must ensure that the time and date on the bike and the PC are matched. The date will be then reset by DealerTool. So here you can select your units. You can put in your miles. It says miles per. Well, oh, I see what it's choosing imperial or SI, but it's miles per hour. But it's really miles here. So range till the next service is 6,000 miles in this case here, and rewrite the instruments. Okay. What else? ABS. ABS is also covered. That's the end of that file. So here we are at the bike. I've got this DealerTool dongle plugged into the ECU connector on the bike, and this side goes into the laptop. So I'll connect that up and then fire up DealerTool, because I've got to put the registration code into the system so that it can be registered to this bike. But to do that, you've got to turn the bike on. So the bike has got to be on but not running. On and in the run position. The kill switch has got to be in the normal position here, and the bike has got to be on. So the dongle is hooked up to the computer, and I just fired up DealerTool. It goes through the same startup screen. Click OK. Now I've got to go up here. So don't forget, I did my ECU data registration before. I've got the registration code. Now I have to enter the registration code. And so this allows you to enter the ECU registration code. So I click on that, and so I've got to put all of these things in manually. ECU number. Okay, so I've got all of the accept new key. Key is valid. You will need to restart DealerTool before accessing ECU. So there, I've got my registered key listed. Launch DealerTool. So now it's supposedly registered. I click OK. As you can see at the bottom of the screen there, it says Windows 7, 8, 10. It doesn't say 11, but it works for 11. COM port 3, ECU status equal question mark. And these are all dead here. So I've got to come in every time, as it says, come in here, read the ECU data. It would have been nice but then if you've got multiple bikes, it doesn't know. I guess if you've got multiple bikes, then you'd pick the one, I suppose. Back to the main page. So ECU data was received after I clicked that read ECU data. It's validated that this is a registered one. And now back to main page. Okay, it takes a second to go back to the main page after you click the button. But as you can see, all of these things here are now live. Now, later on this morning, I'm going to be doing, well, in a few minutes, I'm going to be doing an oil change. So I suspect that the instruments, there it is. It's on the instruments. So 6,000, right away, it says, 365. So at the end of my oil change, I'll come in here and I'll click this button to rewrite instruments, and it should update with 6,000 miles, from today. With the bike turned on, we hook back up the DealerTool software, and we're going to set the new service date. Click OK. ECU data. Read the ECU data to make sure that it knows my registration code. It's registered. Back to main page, ending the connection. And then I go to Instruments, Days until next service. So it doesn't have the ability to set a date like my GS 911. I can set the actual date, but here I'll put 6 months. So what's that? 180 days. So I'll put 180 days, right? 6,000 miles. Rewrite instruments. This is the first time I'm doing this. Now we're going to have a look at the. It says instrument service interval was updated. So let's see on the instrument cluster whether I have 6,000 miles to go and 180 days. All right, we just disconnected the dealer tool, and let's see what this says. Bike setup, service, 6,000 miles. You see that? 3 October, so I confirmed that it is writing the date not American way, but day, month, and year. So 3rd of October 2024, 180 days from now, 6,000 miles. So the service reminder is set. If I did have the icon, it would have been cleared. That's good.